Bet online is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports contests and events with first to market odds and lines. Now, find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. Bet Online continues to be the top online resource for all sports information from live in game betting props and futures. Head to Bet Online today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Now, use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50%. Welcome your bonus on your first deposit. Now, Bet Online is where the game starts.
What's going on, Bills Mafia? Welcome to another episode of ISO Block with Ruben Brown. I'm Justice General Radford, and we are here, of course, with the Hall of Famer himself, the legend, the man, the myth, the legend, Ruben. How you doing, man? I know we didn't get a chance to record last week. How was your holiday?
Holiday was awesome. Great food, great time. Thanksgiving is I would say Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday because not many expectations. You just chill with the family, and it's all day football. I love it.
Absolutely. Did you get you a lot of pumpkin pie?
Hey, yeah, yeah.
For those
Send them jokers to the moon.
All right, let's get right into it. Coming off of a Thanksgiving win, Buffalo Bills defeated the Detroit Lions 28-25. Last night, they had the game versus the division rival New England Patriots. Now, of course, the Patriots, that team that destroyed all of us, the Jets, Dolphins, and Bills for 2 decades. They ran the AFC East. And now Josh Allen and the Bills are 5-1 in the last 6 games against the Patriots. And they have blown them out pretty much in every single contest. So last night was no different. They won 24-10. Patriots seemed to really give up. What was your thoughts, on the game overall?
Well, the game just showed that the tide has turned. The New England Patriot dynasty is no more. They have to rebuild. And the new kid on the block is the Buffalo Bills and have been so for a while, who are in the hunt for a third straight East title, right? This will be the third one. So that type of dominance is what the Bills been bringing to the Patriots for the last few years since Josh has been in control. But then next, I would say, as a game, the Bills took control of the game, even though it wasn't like a high-scoring affair. They controlled the game from beginning to end. And I would add to that, with them controlling the game, I think a lot. I think the Bills are learning. That's going to have to be a strong aspect or something that they have to use or be as a team in order to win down the stretch, because they're not going to be able to just, I would say, put everything on Josh's back. Excuse me.
Speaking of not being able to put everything on Josh's back, they had a very good run game last night. We saw we've seen glimpses of James Cook. But last night, it looked like, was his night. 11 carries for 64 yards, if I'm not mistaken. Devin Singletary also had a very good night. We've been talking about pound the run for like the last 4 weeks here on this show. What did you think of the run game?
I think that's what really took the game over for them. They knew they had to, especially with Dawkins being down and having Quisenberry sub over there at the left tackle spot. I think Quisenberry is an awesome tackle. I think we're fortunate that we have him and he can play more than one position. But just the same when he's over on the right and his counterpart over there, Brown, they do a lot better when you're running the ball. These guys, they're nasty. They got a good attitude, and they'll get after defenders when you're running the ball. And we have capable running backs when given the multiple opportunities they can produce, and they did this game for us. And I think the coaching staff made a concerted effort in order to, hand the ball off to a running back this game as many times as possible, opposed to finding the run in other fit shapes and forms, through via short passes or stuff like that. Um, bring, you know, this running game that they seem to. I would say this is the perfect time to be honing it, bringing it around, making it something that the opposing teams are going to have to fear. It's definitely uh, uh, it helps both sides of the ball because obviously you control the clock and you get a defensive rest. But more importantly, it's a team game, and we got some good running backs, and I think they should definitely have a hand in the success of this offense and not just be um, Allen to Diggs all the time. There's other guys that are very good and they should be able to contribute to the offense.
Yeah, absolutely. Although there are other guys that should contribute to the offense, Allen and Diggs, they looked pretty nice last night. Stephon Diggs had 7 catches for 92 yards, 13 the pop and the tutty. Josh Allen, 2 touchdowns, 223 yards on 22 of 33 passing. Also, he had that spectacular play on the sideline where it's impressive because he's running to the sideline, sprinting to the sideline. Really, you got a defender on your back, and he just shrugs him off, not even worried about him. He jumps up to stay in bounds and throws it behind Gabriel Davis to where only his receiver could get it, and it made a spectacular play. It looks scary, not gonna lie. From every angle I say, if I didn't know the outcome, I'd say don't throw that football, but he did, and it worked out. So that just goes along with how special it is to have Josh Allen as your quarterback. He has been our offense for the majority of the time, and he has also killed Belichick repeatedly. And speaking of Belichick, I want to talk to you about this, especially because you got to play against Belichick. Excuse me. 9-10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and the Patriots are down by 17 points, and they punt the football, right? Not only that, but the Bills get the football back with 2 minutes and some change left, and the Bills kneel 3 straight times to end the game with a minute 52, while the Patriots have all 3 timeouts. So now I want to ask you, do you feel like Bill Belichick is okay with handing over the reins of the AFC East to Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills?
I think this is one of the nicest things about it, that he ain't have any choice. Josh is the far superior quarterback in the AFC East, and he's showing that with his what are we, the division, AFC East division conference, and he's been everything as advertised. Why we drafted him the first round draft pick, and none of the other quarterbacks have been able to match him up to now. Now we have some games coming up with some formidable teams, decent quarterbacks that can do something, but Belichick, number one, hasn't had anything going over there at the quarterback position enough to sustainably beat the Bills. They snuck one here and there, but other than that, sustaining it, they can't do it anymore, and he has no choice but give up the reins.
Yeah, he didn't. And I just thought it was interesting that it seemed like he kind of just waved the white flag,
Yeah.
You look at what the Bills have done. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like you look what the Bills have done. They went into Foxborough last season. Yes, they went because the Patriots beat us in Orchard Park. The Bills went into Foxborough and laid the pounding on the Patriots in the regular season. And then they went back to Buffalo and laid an even worse pounding on them. And then they come last night. And I mean, it was a whooping. Don't get me wrong. It was a whooping. It didn't look quite as bad, especially when you consider the Tommy Sweeney had the holding penalty they called back.
Yeah.
A beautiful bomb to Stephon Diggs. It could have been a
Yeah.
lot worse. It was a lot worse than the final score looks.
Yeah.
But so with that being said, the Buffalo Bills are now first place in the AFC East with a 9-3 record. The Dolphins, who are yet to play, obviously have the tiebreaker, but they have to win a game this weekend against San Francisco. And we'll see what happens with that. Speaking of the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills looking forward into the rest of the season and what the Bills have to look forward to. They got 2 more divisional games coming up. Next up against the Jets, who took one earlier in the year, and then following that, you got the Dolphins, who took one earlier in the year and looked like a formidable team in the AFC here. So I want to start off with the Jets. No Zach White, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
not Zach White. No Zach. I'm blanking on his name.
That is Zach White.
No,
right?
it's Mike White is the quarterback.
Mike White.
now.
Yeah. You got me.
Zach Wilson. I'm sorry.
Zach Wilson. There you
yes.
go.
So Zach. Actually, you know what? Before we get into the Bills game, I want to ask you as a former player. I know you didn't play defense, but I'm sure you can give us some insight on how a former player, a former leader in the locker room will look at such a transgression when Zach Wilson is asked, by the media members if he feels like he let his defense down. Zach Wilson completed 9 passes in the football game where they lost, and the team punted 10 times. So they asked if he felt like he let his team down, and he outright said no. He doubled down on it as well and said no, he doesn't feel like he let his team, doesn't feel like he let his defense or team down. So as a former football player, you have to sit in the locker room with guys, especially a guy who you look at to be the leader as the quarterback of the team. How can some derogatory comments or maybe a guy not taking accountability affect the locker room?
It can do a lot of damage, but if the big deal with them right now in this particular situation is a relatively young team, and when a situation like that arise, it's a lot on the coaching staff to kind of help, smooth the situation or create a better environment. Now, if you're capable and able to have a veteran-ish team with a lot of good veterans on it, a situation like this would be a teaching moment. Those veterans would pull him aside, have a conversation with him, or help amongst in the locker room to get the energy to where it needs. Now, if it's a toxic environment, there's no coach and no player that can rectify that. And number one, the players always galvanize around players. And if you're good, crazy talk is accepted. Just be good, So a lot can be forgiven if you play well, So, his situation in it is what it is. What would I had done, at different stages in my career, I would have reacted differently. Now I know, that it would take a whole team to kind of rectify that situation. And I think the Jets seem with the new quarterback, backup quarterback, third string quarterback, to have enough of a unit, a team that can overcome something like this, which we've seen. They just won the past game handily.
Yeah, they did. And I was talking about that a little bit. They played the Bears, put a stomping on them. Yeah, they did them pretty badly. 31-10. Mike White, who came into in replacement of Zach Wilson after his comments, went for 22 of 28. He had 315, 3 touchdowns, 0 INTs, 91.2 quarterback rating, and 149.3. 91.2 QBR and 149.3 quarterback rating. I mean, absolutely brilliant game by Mike White. I think it's the second year, man. He also had spurts like this last year. We played really really well. Then he ran into the buzzsaw that was the Bills defense. So I want to ask you, do you feel like he has an opportunity to maybe make something happen? We saw what happened with Mac Jones last night. Didn't look great after looked amazing in against the Vikings. He came in last night, didn't look great. Do you think Mike White might have some opportunities against this Bills defense?
I would say this just in general across the board. Watch all the games this year and think about all the predictions we made and how untrue or how they are all unmatched. Losses occur when you thought there was going to be a win and vice versa, which means any team in the NFL can be beaten at any time by any other team, regardless of record. That being said, I would worry and handle the Jets very strongly and aggressively from the get-go, and don't play around with them because they have a pulse and they're looking to build and they're hungry enough and they're showing the changes that they've made. They're aggressively looking for wins. So the Bills would be another win with the Bills would be a big notch on them. I think they're a dangerous team in the sense that they're no slouch. You can't run out there and just roll your helmet on the field. And also, they beat up on the Bears. The Bears the Bears have wins. The Bears they have excuses on why this guy hurt, that guy hurt, whatever. But still, that's a team, and that's the third string quarterback that went out there and did that. Third string, he did what a first stringer would probably do. So they're dangerous. I think we have to attack them and get on them early and shit. And really, I think this week is jump on them and shut their run game down, and we'll have them where we want them because we got more firepower than they do.
Yeah, Mike White absolutely performed probably better than most first stringers.
Yeah, hell
he
yeah.
played really, really well. Michael Carter does get going and he can be very dangerous. We also need to, kind of slow down Garrett Wilson a little bit. He has had a coming out party like none other, looking like one of the best rookie receivers in the league, if not the best rookie receiver in the league right now. And we know what rookie receivers in the league can do, a la Jamar Chase, a la Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson.
That boy is a beast. Yes, he is. Just for reference, guys, I want to give you guys a kind of a look at the AFC standings here. We got the Chiefs in first place, the Bills in second, Titans in third, Ravens in fourth. Those are your division leaders. And then we have the Dolphins at the fifth spot. They can obviously jump to the 2 spot if they were to win this weekend against the 49ers. That'd be a pretty good game. I think they can even go to the 1 spot, if I'm not mistaken, with a loss if the Chiefs lose to the Bengals. The Bengals subsequently follow the Dolphins at the 6th spot. And then the Jets are there at the 7th spot. And then we have, the Chargers. They are there at the 8th spot, 6-5. Patriots 6-6. And then it gets bad. The Colts, Jaguars, Raiders, Browns, Steelers, Broncos, all exclude the Broncos. They have seven losses already this early into the season. Yeah, so it looks like they're done. So when you look at the Patriots, it's like they have an opportunity still to make the playoffs. So do the Chargers, obviously. But I mean, the Jets look like one of those teams right now. They're 7-4. They look like one of the upper echelon teams in the AFC East, and they don't even know who their quarterback is. What does that speak to? Like, I know Robert Saleh is pretty good as far as a coach, but like, is he that good? Do you think?
He's hit it. He's got it going. you got to give him credit because how many other people have been in New York and haven't done well in their first year? How many other coaches haven't done well in around the league? I mean, is Denver's coach still there in Denver? They they still got Nathaniel. So your volume cut out. I don't know what happened.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes,
Oh,
for
there you
now they have him. Yeah.
go. Yeah. So, I mean, and he's got a premier quarterback. So you got to give credit where credit is due. We can't go around as much as we love the Buffalo Bills. We can't hate on our opponents to the point where we're like, oh, he ain't no good. Because hey, one day we might say, hey, bring him on over here. If he does well, do well.
Speaking of doing well and guys who you can't hate on anymore, Tua Tagovailoa
Ah.
is playing extremely well right now. The Dolphins are next up on our schedule after the Jets, and that might be a tougher one than we anticipated. Although the first game we thoroughly beat the Dolphins in every way except on the scoreboard. And a couple turnovers that could have been prevented, a lot of IVs, and a lot of warm weather obstacles to
Yeah.
get around, and they couldn't do it. They had opportunities. They could have scored on the second last drive of the game. They could have scored on the last drive of the game, and they were right there, and every time they just came up just short. So with the emergence of Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, etc., how does this game look? I mean, of course, we need to see what the Dolphins do this week against the 49ers to have a better understanding of how this team performs against a good team, because the 49ers, make no mistake about it, is a good team.
Yeah.
But before we get to the Bills Dolphins, I want to ask you about the Dolphins 49ers. What do you think that game will look like?
I think it's going to be a battle. I give the edge to the Dolphins out there enough, and the reason why I would say is Valoa. I mean, Garoppolo knows how to win. He's dangerous. The defense is getting healthy. They got McCaffrey, but still, Valoa is overachieving a lot of people's expectations. And, Garoppolo is still giving you more of the same. You know what I mean? He might catch fire one night and do well, but he's still the same guy. Valoa seems to be growing and growing each week. So I see them squeaking it out, but I see it as a battle, though. It's definitely a battle because these two top-notch teams.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And the record shows it: 7-4 for the 49ers, 8-3 for the Dolphins. Of course, the Dolphins have played a couple easy games in a row, but you can only play who is put in front of you on your schedule, and you have to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. That was one of the things that really bothered me when the Bills were up and coming. It was be like, well, look who they beat. And it's like, well, I mean, a good team beats bad teams. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, hey, I just said earlier, the NFL, and that's all about. You know what I mean? It ain't like they playing college teams. They playing NFL teams.
Absolutely. And any given Sunday, there's a reason that's the name for the movie, right?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Let's look forward a little bit more to your Bears, right? This will be a Ruben Brown reunion, all right?
Yeah. Oh, we going all the way to Christmas. Yeah.
Yep,
So
Christmas Eve, Bills Bears.
Listen, guys, I don't want nobody to hate me out there, but the Bears showing me some mad love to come to the game. We're kind of, they like to remember the guys that went to the Super Bowl, and I was on the Super Bowl team. We didn't win, but they still got love for me out there.
What you gonna do?
And I'm taking my son. I'm taking my oldest son as his birthday present, Christmas Eve, watching the Bears and the Bills. It can't be any better. And I think they bringing me in to soften the blow around there because this is gonna be like, I don't know, they might be pulling starters after a while on this game. So. And that's no disrespect to the Bears, but they've been decimated, trades, injuries. all of these things, and their team hasn't come together. And for them to, it'd be something spectacular if they give the Bills a real fight in this game. The Bills should take control, especially with their newfound running game that they should exploit over there in Chicago, where running is great. I know very well, and running is the thing to do in Chicago.
Well, I mean, listen, the Lions gave the Bills everything they could handle. You don't look at that as an upper echelon team in the NFC or in the NFL at all. And, the Bears put a whooping on the Patriots.
There you go.
And,
On trip.
listen, it's again any given Sunday. And, Bills fan 1970, absolutely correct. We always have love for Ruben Brown. So look, we know you play for the Bears, but it's all good, man. It's all good.
I'm home. I'm home everywhere I go. I ain't gonna disrespect, but you know, they called me up. They wanted me to be down. I'm like, yeah, man, they're my people. They picked me up when I got thrown on the trash here in Buffalo.
Listen, we do not approve of what that management did in any capacity. Okay?
None of us did. I think that's why I left, because I voiced that opinion while I was playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think I should have been saying so much.
No. You somebody needs to say something to them, because they clearly wasn't doing it. But speaking of the Bears, real quick, just give us your thoughts on Justin Fields, because I was mighty glad that the Bears picked him so that the Patriots didn't. But he looks pretty good.
He is definitely one of those players that can change the game. And especially with the new style, even Josh, how quarterbacks are now deciding to take the ball and run it instead of standing back there in the pocket all day. And he is to take it to the house runner. You know what I mean? He ain't going to just take it down and skirt around. That's touchdown and possibly. So you got game-changing athlete who's finding his way through the league. And hopefully, the problem in Chicago has really been the coaching and people changing around him, and not enough stability to build him. Unlike with Josh has had that stability.
Yeah, absolutely. He's up there with the Lamar Jacksons and the Kyler Murray. That boy good. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. The Buffalo Bills defeat the New England Patriots 24-10. Next up, they see the New York Jets, and we will see what the Jets do this weekend. And we'll see what we have to look forward to. But is there anything else you want to touch on before we talk about these rugs and get up out of here?
Oh no, man. I'm just excited that the Bills we can go into the weekend and the Bills got the W out of the way, and we could kind of watch the games and relax and just laugh at all the other fans that's chasing the Bills, because everybody's chasing the Bills. And I'm excited about the next time the Bills play because of the running attack that they showed this past week. And Justice, we've been talking about run ever since I think that's the only thing that I talk about. But I believe in it because it's important at this point in time of the year, and especially with a team that is trying to go for. We got Super Bowl winning aspirations. We don't just want to go to the playoffs.
For sure, absolutely. All right, Rube. Let everybody know about these rugs.
Oh, come on, player! Before Christmas, we're gonna auction these 2 rugs off. We're gonna give you the time and date when you could, go into the auction and bid on them. But also, you could go purchase your own on rugburners.com. Rugburners.com. Check out their Instagram, brooklynrugburners.com, and you can easily order your own for Christmas before the holiday. Get it done now. These are handmade, one of a kind. There's no one else out there that has these.
Absolutely. Very, very cool. Very dope product. I can't wait till mine comes in.
Word.
All right. Yeah, man. Thanks a lot for hopping on with us, everybody, for tuning in. You guys know we appreciate every single like, comment,
Yeah.
subscription, share, retweet, all of it. And thank you again, of course, to the legend Ruben Brown for blessing us with his Hall of Fame expertise and opinion. So
One love, man. Mafia is family.
absolutely, everybody. So see y'all later, and go Bills.
One love. One love. Thanks.
Bet Online is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports contests and events with first to market odds and lines. Now, find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. Bet Online continues to be the top online resource for all sports information from live in-game betting props and futures. Head to Bet Online today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Now, use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50%. Welcome your bonus on your first deposit. Now, Bet Online is where the game starts.